Hi, it's Mr. Hunter back here. We're going to finish up Mario. So we did his head, and I can clean it up more. I'm going to take an eraser, and I can tidy up these lines, and the scratchiness of the line can be kind of cleaned up. And all those little squiggly lines that I did initially will kind of fade away as you do the drawing, and it will make it look more like the cartoon Mario. So it doesn't just happen just like that. It takes a little bit of effort and a process. So, and then you can go over and you can darken those lines. So where you see a drawing that looks like they pressed really hard, it's probably like they did it the way I just did it. You do it very lightly, and then as you go, when you know you have it in the right spot, you can go back and add to it and make it really stand out. So let's fix this line right down here on his chin. And then fix the line here. And then the hat comes up. And we can do that little crease that comes in here. So you can go back and darken those lines. So as you go, it will become a little more closer to the cartoon Mario. But you can't just do it just like that. It takes a step or two before you get there. So it looks a little better there. And of course there's a little circle in here. This is the highlight of the eye. The highlight means the reflection of the light from like the light fixture or the window. So we'll get his teeth in here. There we go. There's Happy Mario. And it's not, you know, when you look at it, there's probably things you can identify that aren't quite in the right spot, but that's okay. You build on it each time you do a drawing, you'll make it better. Now let's get his what I like to do is go from there to other reference points. So if I look here, you can see where the line is right at the corner of his chin. So right at the corner of the chin is the belt buckle loop, and it comes down, and it's kind of swings out wider as it goes down. And we have the big buckle there. And we'll put it down on this side, and this one kind of goes to the front of his outfit, and the buckle kind of sticks out. You can see how it kind of comes forward. This one needs to be a little bigger. And so the face is really the part that we know Mario for. So if you make an error, it might stand out. Whereas if you make an error on his body, it wouldn't stand out quite the same way. People won't notice it quite the same way. So, of course, we don't want to make errors, but if you're going to make one, you can put a little less time into the body. But if you take the time, it will look even more like Mario. So I have to raise this leg. I did it a little too low, so his knee's way up here more. There's a little part there, and then his boot is way up here. Just getting that curve in. There's that little edge to show the heel of his shoe. You have to make sure you get those lines in there correctly. And the back of his heel, that curves down and back. And this is the back part of his leg. And then his arm's actually up here, coming from his ear. Now mine's a little off, and that's okay. We can kind of make it our own, which means you kind of do it your own way. And so I'll have his arm go up that way. And so I'll have to raise his hand up here. That's the thing, my initial drawing, because I drew lightly, I can easily change it. Whereas if I drew it in very hard, I'd kind of be committed to that spot. And the thing is, we have to keep changing things. We have to adjust it, and it's all about spacing. So as I said earlier, if you get the spacing wrong, it's not going to look right. So as I change it, it will look closer to what he's supposed to. So there's his pant leg and his bends in his knee, and then his leg coming down from here. And that's called proportion. So as you get the spacing correct, It means the proportions are right. When something looks right, your eye recognizes it for the spacing, the little measurements. Your eye's taking measurements without even realizing it. So it's just hard to kind of represent that, of course, to try to get those measurements back. But if you're looking for it, you have a better shot at doing it. So you have to look at those measurements. It's actually math when you're doing the drawing. You're thinking about proportions, which is a measurement of how big things are compared to other things. And I got these little black splashes on the back of his gloves. Show the back of his glove, kind of. And then we'll get his hand in here and we'll be done. So close. So we'll just scroll to get his arm up here, and of course part of his hand is in behind his head here. So it comes out kind of from his nose, the edge of his glove. And it curls up and around here. It's like a big circle, and it goes to the brim of his hat, so I can go from this side. So you want to look from the brim of his hat and from the nose, and if you get that, then you have a better shot at getting the right proportions of the hand. If you try to work from only one side, you'll probably find that it didn't quite match up, or didn't measure out correctly. So I'm just going to clean up those lines. And his thumb comes from just a little bit below there, so we get that curve in here. And then once I get the thumb in, there's his thumb, then I can put his fingers in. So there's the first line for the first finger. Here's the second one. It gets kind of covered partly and curls down here. And then the last one, which looks kind of just like a teardrop kind of curve. And then I can just connect that line there better, so it looks a little more accurate. And then you have something that looks like Mario. Oh, we're missing one thing. We're missing the M on his head. And I can clean up these lines, make them look a little nicer. And we'll put this circle in. And it kind of goes just to where that eyebrow is. There we go. So something that looks like Mario. We can go back and clean these lines up, where if you see those little scratchy lines, you can erase them. Those are the original lines that kind of like guide us and try to get us started, so we can clean them up. And as you do that, it will look more and more like Mario. And look, you can always add color, just like a coloring book. You would just color into the sections, and it would be your own drawing. So that's how you can draw a Mario. Hope you enjoyed it. Good luck. And you're trying to draw Mario or something else. Good luck. Remember your spacing.